Hey Nastya, welcome to English Podcast. It's nice to have you here today. How do you feel?
Hi, Vladimir. I feel amazing.
So tell me about your linguistic journey. When did it start?
My linguistic journey started when I was 17. I wanted to learn some words from a song and the songs, and I tried to memorize a list of words. There were like 250 of them, and I memorized all of them.
250 words?
Yeah,
Or it's like some
something like that.
verbs or adjectives? Do you remember some of these words?
Yeah,
How did you choose the list?
I just found it on the internet, like 250 most important
Most
words in
popular word.
English. Yeah, and there are some like something like narrow, white, green, red, some these
Uh-huh.
easy words.
Uh-huh. Was
Yeah,
it it's like how much time did it take to memorize the list?
I think 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
2 weeks maybe. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember, but it seems like 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So then I came to my university and I took a test for my English level, and I thought that I know English now perfectly and really good, but I completely failed, and I understood that my level isn't absolutely amazing, and I started to use another methods to learn English.
Were you able to speak at that time when you came to university, or it was just reading and
No, I couldn't speak. I could only read something, barely watch videos and understand other people, and just I thought that English is about reading a word and memorize it and
Mhm.
see it in a book on somewhere else, but it wasn't about it.
What was it about?
It was about people. It's conversations.
Mhm.
When you learn a language, you need to use it. You need to speak with people. You need to write down your thoughts. You need to watch some videos.
What it's like? Did you do all of that?
Yeah, actually, I took grammar, but it's not like a usual grammar because at first, I found a study book, English study book, and
Mhm.
I started just doing these exercises, but it didn't seem like it's something cool, great, and interesting. It was
Boring.
boring, yeah. And I found a channel on YouTube. It was called English Galaxy, and there was a guy who was like teaching you some phrases, not just
Mhm.
words but phrases. And I started to watch these videos like 3 times per day, and then repeat it, write all these phrases, and I started to memorize them automatically and check myself. And when all the video I was right in these words, everything was correct, I continued watching other his videos, and it was a progress in grammar.
Mhm.
So I basically didn't use boring methods.
Mhm. So you watched videos and just repeated
Yeah,
the
repeat it.
phrase.
And
Was was it an English channel or Russian channel? Like I mean, the guy who.
well, the guy at first said you the phrase in Russian, and you
Mhm.
need to translate it in your head in English.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was a really good method.
Mhm.
I
How
think.
much time did it take you to understand native speakers?
Well, I think when I came to speaking club, I understood Jordan Peterson's lectures
Uh-huh.
like 70%, maybe. It was really good.
So it was almost a year ago, right? We started watching Jordan Peterson. What was the the end of uh,
October.
the end of
Yeah.
October? Yeah, 2019. Hmm.
Yeah.
Was you able to understand like everybody at the speaking club when you came first?
Well, at first I uh, wasn't able to understand everyone, but as the first session finished, I was able to think in English,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I understood at that time everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next session was a bit better at understanding others.
Mm-hmm. How about like speaking to people? Was it hard to break this linguistic barrier, or?
Yes, it
Mm-hmm.
was really hard because I was afraid to communicate and to communicate in front of a big group of people and communicate in English. It's like three fears at one time. But I said something like, I'm afraid of spiders and social interactions and
Mm-hmm.
something like this. And um,
How did you overcome this fear?
I just had no other options. I just needed to say one phrase because there were everyone who needed to say some introductions.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a choice. And I think in life it's the best thing when you don't just have a choice and you have to do something that you wanted to do.
Mm, so you somehow decided to come to the club and stay here
Yeah,
unless you're able to speak.
yeah, I wanted to come there like month
Mm-hmm.
ago before I came, but I was just afraid to come there because we all speak English and
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it and all these things,
Uh-huh.
all these
What do you
thoughts.
think about it now? Like, was it like a right decision?
Yeah, it was the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I spent a lot of good time in speaking English club, interacting with people, learning things about almost anything, how to interact in a group, how to uh, what to talk to people about if they are silent,
Uh-huh.
ask some questions because now it's not a problem to ask them. I just can ask anything.
You mentioned this Jordan Peterson lectures. Can you like talk about it a little bit more? Like, what was it about? Lectures, and why did you decide to participate, like to watch these lectures?
Yeah, I came at Sunday. They were at Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there are not so many people. Maybe 4 or 5 people, and then the lecture started. At first, I thought it's kind of boring, but
Mm-hmm.
the next lecture was really interesting, and others they were like not usual lectures. They weren't boring, and this guy Jordan Peterson, I think he does a lot to make them like entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
but not bad entertaining.
But after the lectures, we also like we try to discuss
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Like, how did it work? Can you describe briefly? Was it hard just to talk about the lecture after listening the whole hour and then
It
talking about it?
wasn't that hard as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to start speaking. I couldn't do it, I think, for a couple of months, and
Uh-huh.
then I just started to do it. Yeah, I talked, but not too much about the lectures. But after them, I rewatched them on YouTube and just wrote down some interesting things for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I could just self-talk, make self-talk about them.
Did you make self talks?
Yeah, after
Did you record yourself like on
no, just in
a?
my head,
Okay,
and
just like
I
thinking aloud.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and I wrote something down about psychology, uh, philosophy, probably physiology, people behavior,
Uh-huh.
yeah, many
Do you remember
things.
this game we started like when we were writing journals and
Yeah, yeah, I
to,
remember it was actually amazing, and it's really bad. It's closed now.
it's closed?
Yeah, but we don't play.
Yeah, pandemic, all this
Yeah,
stuff. People just stopped coming regularly. Many of them.
yeah,
I
for me.
think we'll
Yeah,
like make something similar in the future.
Yeah,
English.
because for me, it was amazing way to write in English. I actually wanted to write it like when there's a pandemic, things began. I started to write just a journal for me, but it didn't work.
So you didn't.
I wanted to make it like a social interaction because when you have a social responsibility,
Uh-huh.
you wanna make it best,
So
better.
when you do it alone, it's not so exciting as when you do it with other people and you may
Yeah,
share your experience and see what they're writing
yeah.
and thinking about. Yeah. So like, did you try it? How much? Like, after we stopped playing this game, writing journals, did you try to continue on your own and like it didn't work, right?
Yeah,
And how long has it worked after? So how much have you tried?
I tried
Week, month?
like after a month. After a month, it started
Uh-huh.
like pandemic, and I just wrote 2 pages, and then I stopped
Uh-huh.
because I understood that uh, like near time I won't be there at speaking club, and I just can't share it with others. And I think I just needed these social things
Uh-huh.
that someone will write my thoughts. I was doing some creative things like stickers and
Yeah, I
paintings,
remember.
this
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, like you tried to think. I remember like your writings were more like not as people usually try to describe their routine, like what they were doing, what they were watching, but you tried to like ask some questions like why do I study language? Why do I like what are these thoughts which appear in my consciousness?
yeah,
Why I'm thinking about this or that, and try to like write the whole page.
yeah. Because writing about your routine, it's I think it's kind of maybe boring for someone else, and no one needs to know your problems and all these things. I think it was a really good decision to write some questions to make people interested in this.
Tell me about the sense of progress in your studying. Like you said at 17 you started studying on your own, and was there some ups and downs, or it was like smoothly growing?
Well, now I think it was smoothly, and I did not notice how my English level became like it's now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the most important thing in my progress was English speaking club, because when I came, I started to use the language, not just use it passively. Like you can read things, you can watch videos,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't write anything and don't discuss anything with others.
Mm-hmm.
And at English speaking club, we exactly were doing active things like
Mm-hmm.
discussing things.
Uh, all right, let's talk a little bit about grammar. Like, what's your views on grammar? What do you think? Like, is it important to study grammar, or you may first start learn how to speak and then only after that study grammar? Like in general, your views on grammar.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think grammar is important at the beginning when you're trying to learn everything from the very zero. And but you don't need to do grammar things like fill in the word to the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to, like I was doing with this English Galaxy YouTube channel. I was writing a phrase, like repeating it, and just came to understanding of this grammar without really learning the grammar.
Mm-hmm.
And then uh, I read some theory about grammar, and yeah, it's actually a good thing to first practice these grammar things and then learn how it works.
Apply them in
Apply them. Yeah,
conversation and writing. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Just use it, and you'll see that grammar is not that complicated.
Do you study grammar now? Do you do some exercises, or
No, I don't study grammar now.
you just
I
watch videos,
I just
listen?
watch I just watch videos, and like I automatically probably memorize all
Uh-huh.
these things.
It's like kind of natural acquisition of
Yeah.
grammar. What kind of content do you usually consume? Like on YouTube, in books? What kind of books?
On YouTube, I consume videos about how to make videos, edit them, like scenario, all about filmmaking, and um, that's almost all I do now. But like 1 year ago, I was watching videos about the next topic in English speaking club. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if we talk about dreams or something else, I could watch videos about it, and I liked videos about self development, psychology, and just entertaining videos.
Mm-hmm. Do you have some special channel which you like, or you just type how-to questions and watch them? You said like videos about filmmaking, all this. Like, do you have some favorite channel or?
There are actually lots of good channels, and I don't memorize them. I just consume and learn from them
Uh-huh,
all I need.
uh-huh. Can you name just one or two, or you don't remember the names?
I don't memorize the names,
Uh-huh.
so
How do you choose like what to watch on YouTube? For example, you go and do you follow the algorithms what they suggest to you, or you type certain questions and try to find information
yeah.
which?
If I need something certain, I type the question and I watch these videos. But when I wanna watch something entertaining, I may just go to homepage,
Uh-huh,
scroll it down, and see some maybe PewDiePie video
uh-huh.
and watch it just for fun.
Why there's this interest in filmmaking? Like, what made you excited about filmmaking? Is it your hobby or like?
Yeah, it was my hobby from 14, I think. I was making some music videos for me, and I don't know why. I just like doing these things,
Uh-huh.
and I never asked myself why I like it. I just did it all the time.
Would you like to become a professional filmmaker, like on a high level?
Yeah, some not on the high level, because on the high level, you need your own production studio. I think
Do you think it's impossible to make your own
it's
productions? Uh-huh.
possible, but you need to mm, go to Moscow or St. Petersburg if you wanna grow endlessly and shoot videos all the time.
But why can't you do here? Why
I
can't you
can do
do it?
here, but not forever,
Uh-huh.
because the city isn't so big. But still, I think I can do here some things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But like, do you
and
need actually a big city, or maybe like if you have the internet, you may always go there and find all the information which you need to make videos.
yeah,
Is it?
I mean to make commercial
Yeah. Oh,
videos
okay.
for
Yeah.
other cities
To make
and
business out
this.
of it,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's hard to do it here. You need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, because they have big studios. They work like for months there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Let's
I think I will see where it will be.
Okay. Let's talk about linguistic skills, like speaking, listening, reading, writing, thinking. How important are they for you, and in which proportion you recommend to study these skills, develop these skills?
Every of the skills are important, because at first you read things, then you may write them, and then you may discuss it with others, and by that you learn and reading and writing and speaking and also listening. For example, if you watch a video and there are like subtitles,
Mm-hmm.
you may read and listen and digest it later at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can just write things you memorized or liked from this video and share it with your English friends. So I think it's a good approach.
It's like to develop all of them, but in which
Yeah,
proportion? Like if you have just an hour a day to study a
it
language,
it depends on your goal.
but in your case, like in your
In
personal
my case, I
experience.
think it's like 50% for listening and speaking,
Uh-huh.
and 25 for reading and writing
Uh-huh.
as well.
It's like 20, it's basically like divided in equal
Yeah. Yeah.
parts. Uh-huh. What do you enjoy the most? To write, to speak, to read, or to listen to somebody?
I like to listen to other people and also speak if it's not for too long, because I like to listen to more than speak.
Mm-hmm. How much time now do you spend on listening and like on English in general?
In general, maybe 45 minutes or 30. It depends on a day. If I wanna do more, I will do more.
Uh-huh. So, but an hour is like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, 30 or 45.
Mm-hmm. Not too much. Yeah.
Well, if we compare to other people, they actually they have like 10 minutes a day, but
Uh-huh.
still I think they don't do
Have you tried
English
to
things.
study different languages? Like,
Yeah, I tried to study German. I actually studied it in my university for 1 year probably, and maybe I have like A1 level, and after it I wanted to continue, but uh, I alone I couldn't do it because it wasn't so exciting as it was in English when I
uh-huh.
just could do anything alone.
But we have an English German speaking club in Kaluga as well in Niba. Do you know German speaking club
In
in
where?
Niba, this time cafe in Kaluga.
And we still have it.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
they every Thursday.
Well, cool. I do not know.
Uh-huh. They're not so popular as English like speaking, but yeah. Anyway, so you said like you need to study with somebody else. When you're studying alone, it's not so exciting and you don't like it.
Yeah, it's with other languages. With
Uh-huh.
English, it's absolutely okay to learn by just myself.
Do you think it's possible to study? What's your idea about studying English? Like, how much time do you need to learn it from scratch?
English.
Yeah. If you, for example, let's suppose that you don't know English
Yeah.
and you decided to study it like from zero, how much time is going to take you to get to the level where you are right now with all this knowledge which you already have? And what would you do like from if you start studying from the beginning? How would you do that?
Well, that's a good question. I think if you have much time, for example, 3 or 4 hours a day, as I had, you need to start from um, some basic phrases.
Mm-hmm.
And when you memorize them, you can learn some other phrases, but by watching your videos or movies in this language, because you already know all the information that's in video, and you can just mm, uh, memorize these things.
But does do these things help you to like to really to use language? You just keep it in memory, but it's kind of not practical. So when you know all these phrases, you can't use them. You may understand them when you watch a video, but then
Yes, I wanted to say
uh-huh,
after that, you may start to use these usual phrases. For example, you might say, I go there, I do this, I take this thing, and start to learn new phrases and then use them and do it again and again and again. And uh, then you may uh, watch movies with subtitles in English and in Russian and write them down. Uh, I mean, some phrases
mhm,
or words, but words with a context, because words without a context they won't work for you.
mhm. But yet, how much time is it going to take to get from zero to the level where you are right now?
If it's 3 hours per day,
Uh-huh,
every day, it will take 1 year or maybe less.
uh-huh.
It depends on you. Maybe some people learn
Faster.
languages faster than
Mhm,
others. Yeah, we can do it for the same time, but your progress will be better than mine.
mhm. But in general, I think it's you if you really dedicate yourself to studying. Like if you have 3 hours every day in a year, it's possible to start speaking
Yeah.
English. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what's your ideas about this thinking in English? Do you think it's possible to think in English all the time and shift your mind and think in English and study by thinking, not by communicating with people?
Yeah, you can, of course, study by thinking, and uh, I was doing it this month,
Mm-hmm.
and mm, previous months is when we have our speaking club are on ICC,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good thing. You can use it, but it can be boring for you to just speak to yourself and not sharing your thoughts with other people. But it's practically useful.
Have you tried to shut down your native language and think in English like for a long time, not just for few minutes or for half an hour, but for half a
For
day?
half a day. Yeah, yeah, I tried, and it actually worked. And after it, I was thinking for 3 days only in English because there was a pandemic,
Uh-huh.
and I was able to stay at home and don't speak with other Russian people. And so, if you live in a Russian country, I think it's a bit complicated to think only in English, because when you're doing some work in Russian, you automatically switch to this language. You read things, you think in it.
And you're
But if you
surrounded
try,
by people who
yeah,
speak
yeah,
Russian too. And mhm.
yeah. But if you try hard, you can do it. Why not? If you really need this.
Imagine yourself on the scale from 0 to 10. It's like 0 when you can speak English and 10 when you are like a native speaker. So where are you on the scale, and how much like you may go further?
I think I on the position of 7.
7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and by now I I think my level is good for me,
Uh-huh.
and I don't need to develop it uh,
Further.
too much.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I will just sustain this level and may learn some new phrases, some jargons.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So you don't want to like reach some
yeah. I don't want
perfection.
some to be advanced because now I don't have such purpose. If I will have it in the future,
Yeah, it
then
always
I will.
you may
Yeah,
always just focus on it
yeah, sure.
for a certain time. Hmm. Let's talk a little bit about motivation. Like, what motivates you what motivated you to study language when you started doing that when you came to the club, for example? What motivated you to come to the club and start studying?
My motivation was just an interest. I was interested in English, all these stuffs related with it, and I didn't have a certain motivation because I didn't want to apply for any universities abroad. I just wanted to speak English, and when I speak English, I actually feel like I'm another person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's kind of different when I talk in English and when I speak English and Russian.
Mm-hmm.
So there was only an interest.
It's like
There was no
out of curiosity,
motivation.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
Maybe some
curiosity.
challenge for yourself to see whether or not are you able to to speak English to.
Yeah, I just wanted to know this language to understand movies, books, and all things on the internet that are in English.
Mm-hmm. But can you name three the most most important reasons for you to study language?
Oh, yeah. It's new information
Uh-huh.
in this language. It's, of course, broadening your horizons,
Uh-huh.
and I think brain development. If you speak in two languages, your neural networks, you will have more of them, and
Mm-hmm. So you kind of improve your
yeah,
memory, your
yeah,
attention, your
memory, yeah, of
imagination,
course, yeah.
mental faculties they call them, or the faculties of the mind. Uh, what would you recommend to people who kind of want to study language but they don't have enough motivation, they don't have like a desire to come to the club, or they are afraid of coming to the club and talk, but they still want to do that? What would you recommend to them?
Well, I would recommend to just do it because there's no other ways. You will think about it endlessly and you will probably never do this. But if you just start spending 5 minutes per day, it's not that much on anything you like. If you're interested in filmmaking, you may read some articles or watch some videos in this language. If you even don't understand, you still enjoy it because there's pictures
Mm-hmm. Something
and you
that you
may
can
see, yeah,
understand.
something you like
So
because
you have a hobby or you have a job, and then you may just start studying something in English related to your job, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm. And do it like 5, 10, as you say, 5, 10 minutes a day.
yeah, but
Start small,
yeah,
and grow
and
fast.
you may just read some articles in Russian about how to learn English in the best way. You may just you just need to start doing something.
Mm-hmm. No matter
If
what,
you,
but just
yeah, no matter what, if you really wanna do it, uh, you will you will
succeed.
you will succeed. Yeah, right. And maybe you need English for applying for university, and you have more motivation to do it. But if you still don't do anything, then you just inside of your head understand that you don't really need it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. For other people, it will be great because they will have more opportunities that you could probably have, and now they just may took your place,
Mm-hmm.
and you won't have what you probably wanted because you didn't want to make some efforts, some little efforts.
Be a lazy asshole. Just just do something to no.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
not everybody's lazy asshole. They just probably don't know how to do
Yeah.
it. Maybe they tried wrong methods to learn it, and
Mm-hmm. What is the right method?
the most right method is enjoying learning
Mm-hmm.
in any way.
Yeah, but you know, in school we are kind of conditioned like that,
Yeah, at
studying.
school I think it's almost impossible.
Let's talk about like this our modern system of education in school, in terms of studying language. Do you think it's like why it doesn't work?
Because they use old methods, study books and grammar things. You just fill up this sentence and that's all. You need to translate in Russian. You don't. In my school, we didn't speak English
Mm-hmm.
like at all. So why would I study it if I don't speak it? What's the purpose?
To
So we
pass
just
to
translate
pass
it.
the
Yeah.
exam
Mm, yeah,
and
probably.
get formal education.
Yeah. Only for this,
Uh,
probably.
what would you recommend to our educational system? And like, if you were a minister of education and your task is to, teach people English, make them like study in English, what would you do?
I would recommend to speak English only, even if it's the first day.
So in class, nobody speaks Russian,
Yeah,
everybody
nobody
speaks
speaks
English.
Russian.
But if
Yeah.
nobody knows English, how they are going to speak English? Just start
Well,
small.
how people speak languages when they come to some country and have no idea about this language, but
Mm-hmm.
in like 3 or 4 months, they they start to speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And how?
I don't know how.
It's like intuitively. I think they see that some person shows them something and they understand them, these words in their mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can you tell me what impact English had on your life? Like, did it change your life, or you said when you think or when you like speak English, you're kind of a different person? But was there a kind of general impact?
It was an impact not only from English, but from speaking club and videos I watched in English. So English was only an
A
instrument
tool, yeah. Uh-huh,
that
uh-huh.
yeah, that changed my life because
But how did it change your life? In what direction?
I can't say exactly how, but like 2 years ago, uh, it like broadened my horizons and opportunities.
Uh-huh. So did it make you a better person?
Can language uh,
Did it make you a better
can,
person? Like studying English?
can English do you a better person?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. You start to study and your horizon are broad, like expanded, and now you kind of, more. I don't know what.
Yeah, maybe you're more smart in your way,
Yeah,
or
maybe. What do you think? It's like about people who studied, who know two languages. Are they kind of smarter than those who just know the only one language? Does it make you like a smarter if you may speak two languages?
I can't like measure smartness,
Uh-huh.
so I can say exactly.
Is there something that you'd like to like some experience in English that you'd like to share? Something personal?
About English.
Yeah.
All in your arms,
Uh-huh.
and you have everything to learn English if you really want it. And believe me, if I learn the language, you will do it. I don't have any like privileges
Uh-huh.
for learning languages, and I thought it's not possible to learn, but now I'm sitting here and making this podcast.
Uh-huh.
So everything is possible if you really wanna do this.
That's great. Okay, thank you so much, Nastya, for our conversation. It was really nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Guys, subscribe to our channel, likes, comments, all this stuff. So see you next time. Bye bye.